Welcome to another exciting episode of our Kawowo Chats. We've been talking to the movers and shakers of Uganda cricket, and today we have one of the biggest movers of the game in Uganda. Today we shall be chatting with the chairman of Uganda Cricket Association, Mr. Ansasira Bashir, commonly known as Badu. Badu, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. My pleasure, Mr. Musali.
Just to let you know, we are doing this from his very lovely home, somewhere in Chanja. At the end of the show, he can send you a pin if you're interested in visiting him, but we won't give you the exact details. Badu, welcome to the show, and it's a pleasure to have you.
My pleasure too.
Today we want to speak about we'll start from some people may not know that, but you played some very good cricket. We'll start from where I started for you. How did you get involved in this game? And how were your times with, I won't mention the school, but I know you mentioned it for us. How do you get involved in cricket?
Actually, thank you so much, Musali. Once again, a pleasure to, to be interviewed by your team. So it's my pleasure when I'm giving back to cricket. Basically, I started cricket, active cricket in Intare, and that was in Form 1. And how I began cricket is quite funny. I know some people may take advantage of me tomorrow, but it was a biscuit and a coke. Because remember, you're in school and they tell you the Cavaliers had come in Tari, and then they said whoever wanted to go play some cricket, there are bazungus in Kacheka, please, you're free, no classes for 2 days. So you can imagine what it means. So I get down to Kacheka, I find myself in Kacheka, I find the coke and the biscuit. I said, no, I'll go back tomorrow. But I can assure you, that was in second term, beginning of second term, I was able to represent entire school at the end of the term when we were playing for the school's cricket week. So basically, that's how I started cricket anyway.
There's a time we spoke to Franco and he told us his motivation was I think a zombie and some soda.
Can you imagine?
Clearly, the motivations for all of us to play the game are very different.
Yeah,
but while you were in Tari, who were some of the people you started with and still, took up cricket later on that you continue to play with from Tari?
Yeah, I played with Nwaga Arthur. He's now a procurement manager with DTB. I played with time Ndaura, but the Ndauras were ahead of us. Not Padilla, the other Ndaura. I played with Haba Charles. Haba Charles was a former president for Rwanda Cricket. The current chairman for Rwanda Cricket, Eddie, we played together. The likes of Spear Boy, we also played cricket together. Unfortunately, we don't have so many guys who have played cricket back in Italy that are still very, very, very actively playing in our years. But of course, we had to be motivated by the likes of Jokam. Jokam used to come and coach us. Samuel Simbi used to travel all the way to Mbara to come and coach us cricket. For him was always straight. And that's why I think all cricket from Ontari were the first guys, me and Arthur, to start hitting the ball outside the boundary. Because Samuel Simbi told us, man, if you want to play cricket, if you want to stay, you must keep your bat straight. And that's why he had a very good relationship with, I've forgotten his name, was Kaheru. We had Ruero, Mr. Ruero. He's now in the States. Yeah, so those were very, very interesting days when we came in as young guys, and you're getting to be introduced to this game of cricket, and you actually pick interest. And by then we didn't have access to much equipment like you can have, fancy gloves, a bat, cricket bat. Because I remember at the time I traveled to Zimbabwe, and we did a tour for 3 weeks. When we came back, I was given a bat, but I think the bat was weighing heavier than myself. But you want to be out there and appear like a star. A star does not share a bat. So you can imagine how many ducks I hit because I was using a very heavy bat. Yeah, so it's been a very interesting roadmap all through.
I come from a cricket mud school. I do not know how was it for someone to be. I mean, in Mwiri, if you're a cricketer, you are close to the teachers. Maybe after teachers, prefects, and then cricketers. I don't know how it was for someone in Tari. How did it carry any value that I play for the school cricket team and things like that?
Yes, because we had a teacher called Teacher Mwesigwa, and he did treasure cricket and tried to sell it to the school administration. Actually, we had special meals. I mean, if you went up there to play cricket, I did not have to rush to go back to the dining to go and start fighting for food. So those are some of the benefits that you had as a cricketer. And yes, we were recognized in the school. And especially if we had a chance to come and, play schools week in Kampala, Mr. Galwango's portion in Makerere College. I think it was always a very good and exciting moment for us. It meant a lot to be a cricketer or sportsman in Intare School.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And then coming to Cricket Week, you mentioned you used to come to Kampala for the tournaments.
Yeah.
How was it for in the? I would assume in your days, I think Mwiri, Budo, Chivuli were some of the powerhouses. Of course, even later in our years, Intare wasn't one of the schools you'd really, that would give you a long night's sleep.
Yeah.
How was it for Intare when you'd come to Kampala? Was it the mere excitement of, you know, crossing from crossing from Mbara into Kampala? Was that satisfaction enough?
Actually, the beauty was most of the guys who are coming in to play cricket in Kampala, at least we had been to Kampala. We were living in Kampala. Some guys were living in Entebbe. Some guys were living in Jinja. Like I said, actually, me, I lived in Jinja up to the age of about around 8. I was on Lubas Road, you know. So not all of us who are coming to play cricket from Mutare actually we are the real, you know, the real shares, the real Bachiga from Kawowo straight out to Kampala to go and play cricket. You know, guys had some kind of background back down here, and of course, yes, it meant a lot. I mean, you spend most of your time in Western Uganda, and there is a school tournament where you're going to meet, you know, these guys, the Zungus, the guys, the Benzos, all those guys. So you would imagine what would be going through our minds when we're playing such guys. You might find a man like Mbazi. A man like Mbazi, the father has trained him from the age of 3. He's up to the time he's playing. Now he's meeting someone who's just started playing cricket, maybe in Senior 1 or P7. So it was all a challenge, but a very sweet challenge. But yes, it meant a lot to know that we were coming here in Kampala to come and play and compete. And we did compete. Because I remember there's a time I was a bowler, and I used to put on suspenders. I used to bowl in suspenders. And I think if Mr. Shuka Musoke ever gets a glimpse on the video, I'm sure he'll give me a call, and I will say, "Wakanyakole kalimu mususpender, mkegereze." So by then, and that's our relationship with Jeremy also grew, because Jeremy used to come in bowling, and I used to hit Jeremy seriously. I used to fly him out. Don't see me hitting him in the Bagurusi. Even when I was in Italy, I was flying Jeremy out of the pitch. But it was all a good experience, and us coming and mingling with such guys. You find a guy from here, you find Ibra from here. When you play them, you come to, you know, pick up. Yeah.
Interesting stories. I think we all have very interesting stories from the Cricket Week. And then while playing cricket in school, how come, where was the gap that, you know, most people didn't continue with the game? Or is it after school people, you know, found other more interesting
like my time, some guys finished school, some cricketers finished school, and they traveled like out of the country, you know, go and study like in the UK, go in the US, go to India. So it became a bit of a trick. By the time they come back, everyone is hustling, you know, they are getting into the, you know, our corporate world. Guys in the corporate world, unless you've been playing cricket actively throughout secondary, university, then you get a job like in M10, then you can still continue playing. But even a few who live in Uganda that actually continue to do that. So when you start hustling in this corporate world of ours, people lose, you know, they lose that much interest of playing the active cricket, much as they remain cricketers. So in my year, I can't say there are so many guys who actually are stuck by cricket. But again, a couple of fellows still play cricket, because that's how we came also into Nile. Remember, Nile, by the time we came in, I think the top fellas were Dan Lijarinji. So I think for us, we are now a generation, the bureau Dan Lijarinji. And then from us now, that's how the CEO, the Martin Ondekos, also came in down there. So you find that, yes, some of them came in and were able to play for clubs, but most of them did not take on active cricket.
After high school, were there opportunities for you to get? Of course, then the opportunities was really limited for people to get into the national team and all. Were there a few opportunities for you guys to be able to, you know, to represent Uganda as well?
Oh yeah, when I got an opportunity to go to Zimbabwe, I think I'll always thank Ekel Taya. I think he's one cricketer who was there and, you know, very open and you know, how can I call it, very neutral elder. I mean, I've come across. There's so many elders as well. But he realized that, yes, there was lagging a gap. There was a gap between Western region in terms of cricket playing, in terms of exposure, and of course the central. Because if the Mzungus came in Uganda, they did most of the coaching around here, and that means the likes of Ontare, Nyakasura, you know, were left out. So he actually gave us an opportunity And the only opportunity I had to represent Uganda was when we went into Zimbabwe, and by then it was more like an under 19 and Uganda youth cricket something. It was more of training and again having some bit of competitions, and that one to me it's a big thing. It has always been the big thing. You guys have gone, you've played your World Cups, but to me the time we were in Zimbabwe, the 3 weeks we spent in Zimbabwe training and playing that competitive cricket, honestly that one to me meant a lot in my life, cricketing life, yeah.
Who are some of the guys that you went with to Zimbabwe?
Oh yes, I went with a guy. I went with my friend Mike Ondiko, Zungu, Simon Zungu. Then I had Jeremy Chukamsoke. I had Mark Lutaya. Did you have Ibra? I think also had. I think we had Ibra. Yes, we had Ibra. I think those are the guys. We went about 7 guys to Zimbabwe time, and were being led by Justin Nijalinji.
Yeah.
Yes.
You are one of the few guys that even with all the hustling and things that are involved, you really stayed involved in the game, despite the fact that maybe your work life gets very busy.
Yeah.
But you've been passionate and remained involved. I think I remember the other day I was looking at one of the photos when we made that under 15 trip to Dar es Salaam.
Man, I saw that one. Yeah.
you are our team manager.
Yes.
Where does the passion come from to stay involved in the game? And
yeah, I think I've always been a sportsman. There's no sport I've not played. But I remember in Italy, I did play tennis. Yeah, though Benjamin Musoke. One day we were playing tennis and actually used my racket when it snapped. He threw it at me and said, "Go over." I think such things could have pushed me to go and do more of cricket. But I think my size at the time, like in Italy, at the time, the only sport I would be comfortable with in Italy was more of the tennis and cricket. And then cricket, having picked interest with Mr. Chris Mwesiga, he actually pushed us. And then I always wanted a sport where I knew I would take that advantage of representing like at the national level, playing like for a school. And that's how I ended up, loving cricket. And most when it happened that I was able to travel, come and play schools cricket week, I never looked back. So I think when I hold on to something, when I find an opportunity, I always strike it and I get stuck by it. And I think it's love for something. I think cricket came, I loved cricket, and that was it. Actually, you remind me of that of that small picture. When I saw it, I gave it to my wife. I said, where am I standing here? Of course, she could still remember my small size. I was, I think, an extreme right, yeah. So, yeah, to me, I think it is, I loved cricket because even today, people wonder, why do you still have this passion? Why do you have this heart? Do you earn from cricket? Does it pay? It doesn't pay me. We put in. And I think we led by example because I remember when I was in MTN, when I was in university, I used to go and coach mini cricket. You guys, I think I used to send you guys out. Yeah, I used to send you guys out to go and coach. And I was also a young man at the time. So I've been giving cricket for quite a long time. I don't know whether I can tag the financial, value of what we've, But again, at the end of the day, it makes me so proud that at least I've been able, one, to start very humble, come up in the stages of cricket, and then be at the helm of cricket. Honestly, I mean, it is something that you cannot tag a value. We should be able to, do something that is significant for Uganda cricket.
And this is a question I wanted to ask later, but I'll bring it now because you spoke about it. The spirit of volunteerism in cricket is something that has kept the game thriving and alive. What does it? Most people, like you've mentioned, most people think that those guys are there, but like they're getting something. But at the end of the day, when you look at it, you put in a lot of your time. Yeah. And also sometimes your own personal resources. Yeah. People would like to understand, those that are not around cricket, they would like to understand what is the spirit, if I'm a board member, do I get anything? If, like you've mentioned, if I'm told to go to Mwiri and, coach kids, am I being paid? But can you explain in detail the spirit of volunteerism that is involved in cricket?
The energies, the time I have put in cricket, I can never regret it because cricket has made me who I am in terms of personality, my image. So it depends. If I'll use an example you mentioned about like the board members. What board members get in from cricket? Nothing. But by virtue of the fact that you're contributing to this great sport, at the end of the day, you get self-satisfaction. I want to believe that my board members, definitely them being elected as board members, to take decisions and guide cricket in Uganda. That's good enough. That's fair enough for someone. And again, remember, when you're running such a big sport in Uganda, at the end of the day, there is a way you learn how to behave, learn how to, you know, mind about your image. You know, there's a lot that comes with it. In a short run, yes, you're benefiting the sport, you're doing what, but in a long run, definitely, it will benefit you, to build you, it will build your career, it will build you it will build your personality, and even the image you get. I mean, you find that you have an international image. Cricket gives you an international image. So I think, I don't know if I've answered your question, but to me it is a passion and it's what you feel. It is, I don't know, it is, cricket is life. You go and ask a man like Sweetal, or go and ask an old man like Mr. Ekeltaya that, see what he's going to tell you. It's what you feel. I feel I'm giving in, and whether you appreciate it or not, but you feel you're giving something, and you keep hoping that in the future, people come and say that actually, I think this is what this guy did. Yeah, and I think that applies also to my board members. When you see the amount of time that the board members put in on WhatsApp, these Zoom meetings, maybe a board member to chairman, you know, maybe board member to the CEO, it's quite a lot of time that they put in that you cannot tag a price. So I think it's about satisfaction and knowing that, yeah, I think we're put in these positions to give back to cricket, of which cricket is bigger than anyone. Talking your journey to being the head of your cricket in Uganda, it didn't start here. Can you talk us through when I know you've been chairman before? I mean, a vice chairman, secretary here. Can you talk us through your journey up to when you became chairman? Yes, I think my leadership in cricket started way back when I used to be given the task of running, coordinating Cricket Week with Engineer Fred Utaya. And at the time, of course, now, for me, I don't know why, but for me, it's me who used to go out there and coach. You find you're in Soroti, you're in Tororo, you're coaching teachers, coaching cricket. But little did we know that actually that was building us for these bigger positions. So I came in and I took on the under-15s at the time you were playing. I was a young man, but I was managing you guys. To me, that was leadership. Taking a team out of Uganda, Nairobi via to Tanzania, spending with Aunt Susan, if you remember. Yeah. So to me, that was building my leadership in cricket. Then I also attended those, whenever they said there was a small training in cricket leadership, there's a team coming in, this and this and this, I was always available. Not because I had all the time, not because I also didn't have where to go, you know, go hang with your friends, but because something was telling me, I think there is something, you're cricket. Cricket is you, also, you're part of a cricket. So come 2007, that's when I became the secretary of Uganda Cricket. But again, like you said, stories can't be told. But I think that was a board formed by Kamyuka. There's no question. But I continued doing management of the national team. The new management was comfortable with me. The new board, which was led by Dr. Sebali, they were very, very comfortable with me. I ran under 19 until I think the time when Mami came in, and that's when I was dropped off the under 19. But now that's a story for another day. So come after 2 years, I said, you know what? I think we are coming into this thing here, and we must also contribute to cricket because we had always wanted to do it. And the plan to come in and be at the helm of Uganda Cricket was myself, Jeremy, and Keba. And I'll mention it here. That was like 7 years before we came into office. So we planned those things. So of course, I think they had this whole entire thing, you know, you come in and you make your plans, and now how you execute the strategy, the tactics, and what and what. So we hung in there. So 2014, that's when I also hooked on as a vice chairman, and now we're saying, now I think we are headed there. So we knew where we were going, by the way. My team was so solid. I'll again repeat, Jeremy and Keba. Well, we said, now we are headed there, we can take on this thing here. So it was so unfortunate that come 2017, if they were voting by show of hand, by the time you check behind like this, there was no one, but life moved on because the strategies had been whatever, so it didn't matter who was to implement. You know, when you have a good plan, you may not have to be necessarily the person to implement it. When you put processes in place, even if you're not there, things will run. So eventually, that is how I got into office. So that is how we got in, and that's where we are today. Yeah.
To pick up from that conversation, you had a lot of support from a younger generation. Yeah. And it seemed like there was a clash between the new and the old. How was that the case, or it was probably misunderstood by the people who are outside?
I think it was totally misunderstood. It was just individuals, because we had lots of support from the elders. I will not mention names. And advisors, even up to date, the advice, it's okay, you know. They are still there since 2017. So I don't want to believe that there was a division between the youth and the elders. No, it had never been there. Because remember our culture, respect.
Yeah.
But you see, I think the challenge that we faced was too much of anything is always bad. If I come to you, Mati, Mr. Musali, and I give you all the respect I ought to give you, and 1 year will pass, second year, if you're not guiding me in the right direction, I'll come to know. If I come to know when it is too late, when it is late, and I can give up, then I'll find myself done what? Finished. So probably that could be the gap maybe people could be talking about, but there's nothing absolutely that this is the youth, this is the elders or whatever. No, it was never like that. But it's the youth. It's the youthful guys who had the time to call me, you know, make me comfortable. Even the day one, the following morning, I received so many calls from the youthful guys I didn't expect, and telling me, you know what, Badu, you have challenged us. You've set the bar. And such words, of course, keep it to me like, hey man, I used not to sleep. Come and say, now, what is next? What is next? So at the end of the day, you're saying, I've come in, I want to bring unity. So if you've come to bring unity, you're not going to start pulling ropes. People pull ropes, you'll try. If you can step on it, you'll step on it. If you can neutralize, you can neutralize. So that's why it was a bit, at the beginning it was a bit slow, but eventually it started picking. Then it dropped, then it picked. And you might think where we're at right now, I think we have taken off. I want to believe that Uganda Cricket has actually taken off. Yeah. Probably that one will come in your next question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly, that's what I wanted to ask. For the 4 years that you've been at the helm of Uganda Cricket.
Yeah.
Okay, technically 3 or 4.
Yeah.
We'll be getting 4 into next year. What have been some of your? Let's start with some of the biggest achievements that you've been able to.
You see, I'm one believer who believes that I don't want to die tomorrow. And when I'm down there in the grave, there are these ghosts who are saying, but you had this potential, you had this opportunity, you had this youthful team supporting you, you had, you were gifted in this way, and you never utilized it. And now here you are, and we have all died. I don't ever to have those ghosts come near me. So basically, what I might say, or what I've always done is, yes, we fall, you know, you fall. But when I'm falling, I make sure I fall forward. I never fall backwards. And when I'm falling, which has been happening in the 4 years, I make much as I fall on my back. I've never fallen face down, so that I'm able to do what? To come up. And I think it has kept me moving. I'll mention one thing. When I was coming in office, of course, not so-called challenges, but I think we had challenges financially. We didn't have money. We were always borrowing left and right, and that's a reality. If a team is travel here, you're borrowing. So the first thing that was the biggest challenge coming in office was that financial issue. And I cannot shy away to say that there was a financial challenge of up to a tune of like a deficit of close like to 800 million. So leaving the financial issue aside, and that's why now we could say that we had enough money to buy land anywhere outside Kampala. If we bought land today, probably we'll be having cricket grounds. And that one now brings me to my third lineup on agenda. I had promised Uganda that by the time I'm leaving office, at least we should be playing a tennis ball somewhere. What I meant was we should have bought land, we should have graded that land, we should have planted grass at least. And that was a reality. Don't we have money to buy that? We do have the money to buy that. Even if we bought land today, and I've mentioned it and I keep mentioning it, the following morning we would be grading it, we would set up projects like we set up for the international relations, we would have sponsors, supporters to come in and, and give a hand. Musali, before you came in, I was talking to, I keep forgetting the name, that's what I bought my phone. He's the manager to Doni. A call of a Uganda cricket chairman talking to the manager of Doni, and asking how can we help in Uganda? How can we improve cricket in Uganda? And he's talking to someone, Mohammed, who is in Dubai, who is running the T10s and he has a cricket ground. The one now is trying to connect us with Dubai because he has good work relationship with the ICC and ECB in Dubai. So just imagine if we were working collectively, or assuming we had our cricket grounds in whatever state they are, 1, 2, 3, 4 grounds, and we started getting such kind of how can we help? How can we help? Why wouldn't Uganda Cricket Association be there? And we have our own cricket grounds that you can see 8 teams go and play on any Sunday, go and play their games and enjoy the game. So of course that was now my number 3. And then unity. To me, it was very, very important. And I think that one has also cost me a lot of time. Because remember, you know how we run our cricket. You find there is, some pulling ropes left and right. But the good thing is we are gentlemen. You never see a cricketer coming out to punch. And my biggest task was image, the image of cricket. The image of cricket, what maybe people thought of us, I don't know. Maybe it was because of, it could have been a communication issue. I never like to go direct on. It could have been maybe a communication issue. People not knowing what probably we are doing. But I think the office, through you guys and whatever, you're doing a great job. And people out there have come to see exactly what it is that we are doing. And I think we're getting there.
Yeah, that's very good to note.
Yeah.
That if we could talk about what do you feel have been some of the challenges that you faced in running the game of cricket?
The challenges now, I think I mentioned the challenge. My biggest challenge in running cricket were those, I call them whirlwinds. You continue to do the day-to-day. You continue to do the day-to-day running of cricket. By the end of the day, you find that there are those forces that continue to, pull or drag you. So the biggest challenge has been specific individuals trying to, drag us back, to try and drag maybe one Badu back, which is wrong. It's not me. I'm not cricket. Cricket is bigger than me. Cricket is bigger than anyone. So it doesn't matter who I am, who is Badu. At the end of the day, are we there for a common cause? And the other biggest challenge was, of course, the financial issue. Moving from down here completely from the deepest to again now come and talk and say, I think I'm somehow okay. It's not easy. We did not have finances as cricket at the time. And that was the biggest challenge that we did face. Because I remember sending a team to Malaysia and I had to run to look for money. And like at this time, 7:30, that's when I got $15,000 cash by hand from our trustee, Mr. Keshwala. We didn't have money. The team was flying out of the country, but you don't have money. Now imagine if we were borrowing that money from someone to pay interest. Tell me. It would have been whatever. But again, by then we were still now trying to come out of that financial challenge, and eventually we gotten out of the financial challenge. I'm not saying that we have money that is there, but at least we don't borrow around. That was the biggest challenge that was bringing the finances of cricket down.
Okay. Yeah. Just to hint back on the challenges, one of them was, and you spoke about it earlier, about the image of Uganda cricket.
Yeah.
Cricket, you seem to be on a clashing course with the National Council of Sports. Of course, it started with the ground in Nogogo. How did cricket go about it, especially in terms of leadership, because it ended at the top?
Yeah.
And for those that are outside looking in, they would think, oh, those guys are now on talking terms. Last year, cricket was awarded the Best Run Association by National Council of Sports. So it looks like you kissed and made up. How was the whole?
Yeah, you see, what happens is your way. Your way, like I said, whatever you do, your way, you look at what percentage risk you're carrying. Cricket, I don't think it has ever been in the interest of cricket, Uganda cricket, to have any issues, fight with any federation or with any governing body. But the biggest challenge was on the cricket ground, abuse of the cricket ground by National Council of Sports then. So if me, one chairman, goes in and now want to go into, throwing punches with the National Council of Sports, I have to ask myself, what am I trying to benefit? Is it going to benefit Uganda cricket? Yes or no? If it is yes, go. I'll go because I'm managed too. If no, then I'm like, now, why should you now start, that kind of, fights, which did not call up? And I don't think we ever had any fights, I think. It's the cricketers who came out and they said, look, you can't start abusing this cricket ground. You came, you took the cricket ground for shows. 1 show, 2 shows, 3 shows. They went to 4, 5, 6. Now it went to just stopping games. Now it went to throwing bottles all over the cricket ground. Now it came to you, National Council of Sports, telling us, you know what, you can always use only as and when. But maybe one thing I would want to mention and assure the cricketing fraternity is that we have very high hopes in the new chairman of National Council of Sports, Dr. Rukari. We believe the kind of personality he has, and him having been a head of a federation before, he knows the challenges that federations like cricket, hockey were facing, and I'm very, very positive that he's going to put things right. And that's why the secretariat, the office, we completely kept the office out of this whatever, and you keep doing your administration for us. Let us see how we can push from wherever we could push. Yeah.
That's very good. Yeah. And then I wanted to ask, even during your time, there was a transition from one CEO to another. Justin left, I think, in 2017, at the end, towards the end of 2017. And Martin has been your CEO for the most of the time.
Yeah.
How has this transition been? How has the transition been? And how do you think Martin, has fared during your time in terms of being a CEO?
Transition is never easy. Transition is never easy. Even when I was coming in as a chairman of Uganda Cricket, I could have made some bit of mistakes because it was I'd never chaired a big association apart from having spent a lot of time on the board. So of course, culture is very, very important. Martin having worked under our senior Justin Nijalinji, of course every CEO have their own culture. Now, if you to change a culture in any particular office, it cannot be very easy. So I think the biggest challenge that Martin could have faced was Martin is also a royal employee, very royal employee, and I think was very, very loyal to Justin. So he wanted to apply the same work style of Justin. But remember, we all have different work styles. You cannot say that me I work the way Musali works. If I want to work the way you work, I'm going to do what? I'm going to make a mistake. So I can say in the past say 2 years, in these past 2 years, I've seen lots of improvement in Martin, trying to also mingle up with our international relations, trying to now mingle up with guys like you and the Wakabis to try and see how better they can strategically position Uganda Cricket, not relying on the board, because board, these are not full-time employees of the association. So yes, we've seen him grow, and we believe yes, there's no magic really in running the affairs of Uganda Cricket, but of course he has to totally up his game, because at the end of the day, where we're headed is very, very competitive. And when he told me that he was able to come and bring another brain man or strategist like yourself, Musali, that one shows you the direction that he's thinking in. He also believes and knows that things have changed. And with this COVID thing, by the way, things could change completely. The way things are being done, let it be in these corporate banks, telecom companies, tower companies, worldwide, things have changed. So whoever still thinks that things are going to remain the way they used to be, they are completely going to fail.
As you come to the end of your term, I think you have, in 2021, I think we'll have an election. What are some of the things that you feel, of course, they're not yet finished, but you'd want the next person to carry on with them and see them through so that Uganda Cricket can go to the next level?
4 years have been very few. Yeah, and I will mention it in front of your camera. Another 2-3 years, to me, in cricket, would set a very, very big difference. Why? I get back to your question. These openings, the doors that we've opened, the international doors that we have opened for Uganda Cricket, it's very, very, very important that there is someone to harness them. They are not yet materialized. They are just starting. These are long-term relationships that we have to concretize, just like Bankstown. Bankstown was founded way, way back 10 years ago. But the last visit that we made to Australia, myself and the CEO, made a very big mark. Those were 10 days in Australia. The meetings that we had with the trustees, with the management of the hotel, that Travel Lodge who sponsor us mainly, is it North Wales, is it South Wales, where we went with Martin. That kind of meetings that we had, those are the kind of meetings that we require to ensure that we have these guys on board. You cannot sit back and relax and say, you know what, Bankstown, yes, whether Friedman, our father Friedman is there tomorrow or not, we have a very good, backbone with the Bankstown. It's not about just individuals. So you'll find that this kind of relationship that we have opened up We need someone to make sure that they concretize. And what do I exactly mean? You cannot be there and say, oh, now I think we are now comfortable. Yeah, we are now into India and we are comfortable. We are not. These guys must have to come to trust us, grow with us. Are we meeting their expectations as per what we discussed? Okay, you can't say because you've done it 1, 2 years that now they think that we are there. No, you need to 1, 2, 3, 4 years. Then you have people, introduce people in the system. And this is not jokes. A call, how can we help grow cricket in Uganda? That could have been the same thing that was done for Gahanga. Remember how when you tried for the stories? Yeah, so that one. Then also the other thing I think would be, I think those are the three things. Those are three great areas. Because once those ones are completely, once they are done, now they work as a foundation for the rest of the things, operational things that we do in a cricket.
How has the COVID situation affected the activities of Uganda Cricket this year? And of course, has it changed the way that you guys are operating currently?
At some point, Uganda started smelling on a one-day status, that kind of hype, that kind of, you can imagine if we had our tournament, if we're having our tournament, in October, imagine what level of preparations we'll be having from the time we left. Was it Oman or Qatar? It was Oman, where we qualified from.
Yes.
Yeah, from the time we left Oman, you can imagine the kind of trainings, the kind of exposures, the eyes on cricket, on Uganda cricket, the world eyes. I mean, everyone in the world will be now looking at Uganda cricket, and of course that one also comes in with support, with love for the sport, with hype for the cricket players. I can assure you, COVID, yes, I mean, it's God who brings such circumstances, and of course we cannot keep, crying over COVID. We have to look forward and see how best we can improve. But it has definitely brought down all sports engagements. And for our case as cricket, we cannot play cricket. We cannot spread cricket. What we are doing is this webinar thing of, more of online, online, trying to just think outside the box. But also, we've gotten an opportunity to come in and show some of our stakeholders that actually we do not take it for granted. And I was happy with the programs you guys came up to, go support those school teachers like in Kasese, in Soroti, wherever, who helped to, expand or grow our sport. Because at the end of the day, such people could have been like, I think cricket maybe is just using, but they came to that actually we are not just using them, but we are, partnering with them and we're appreciating what they do for us. It's only that we could not afford to do what? To pay them. So it came with its pros and cons. But I think what's the most important now, it has happened. Whether it has affected cricket or not, yes, indeed, it has affected. But now, how do we think out of it? What is next? I think that's what we need to be focused on.
Very soon you'll be joining the great wall of fame of men who have led Uganda cricket. What kind of legacy would you want to be remembered for as someone who led cricket for 4 years?
The biggest legacy would have been if I left cricket grounds behind for Uganda cricket. But it's my dream that it will happen, and it will happen. And I only pray to God that if I could be added 2 more years, 2 to 3 years, I think would stabilize whatever we haven't stabilized. And this is for real. 4 years is even Trump there is asking for Kisanja. The man feels he can push things. So what about me has come and told you that I found this here, now it is there. I found this one here, now it's there. I found this one here, now it's there. So if I tell that, get me another 1 term under whatever sort of management, let me yield what has not been yielded. Because like this year, you can calculate this year gone. You can calculate the first 2 years, too much pulling of the rope, of names I will not mention. That one. So there has not been, throughout my 4 years, there has not been, and I'll mention it, throughout my 4 years, there has not been a breathing space that you sit in your chair as chairman and all you mind about is going forward. There are always whirlwinds. You're always being pulled. You're pulled left and right. Not because every leader faces that. Even Museveni does. Even the likes of the Trump also do. But it has an extent of an impact. But ours was worse because if you can put certain activities to hold, simply because there's that kind of friction, definitely will show that things have not been easy. And I'm very, very proud that I've been able to, pull it off. Honestly, we've pulled it off. Then at the end of the day, it is up to us to come together and we try and push and put cricket to another level. And we can. And I've shown you guys that actually we can take cricket beyond Uganda. We've taken Ugandan cricket beyond Uganda, and the sky is the limit.
They say when two cricketers meet, we will talk until, I don't know, the sun comes down. But we'd like to thank you for, first of all, welcoming us in your home and also giving us a very, very rich conversation that is going to enlighten people about, you know, what your cricketing journey, first of all, and what you've been able to achieve all the past 4 years. So thank you very much, and we appreciate it from Kawowo Sports. You've been very good partners, cricket, in terms of providing us with content as well as being available whenever we call on you. So guys, that's it. I hope you enjoy the chat, and make sure you look out for our next personality that we'll be talking to about cricket. Thank you very much, and that's it.